Alright, gonna do an audio check. Alright, so we're gonna finish up this module, and after that it's actually gonna be a project where everything will be applied. So I'm gonna be going through that, and then also putting it all on GitHub. Um, so right now we're in the forms, registration forms module. Alright, so we're just gonna finish it up. So step 49, for the second field set, you want the input and label text to appear in the same line. Start by giving the input elements in the second field set a class of inline, okay? So for the second field set, so that's here. So start by giving the input elements, so all the input elements. We're gonna basically assign it a class that doesn't exist yet, which is kind of a common pattern here in the tutorials. But it's gonna be called inline. So that's one. Unless we created that class and I forget. So there's one here, and there is a final one here. So I think that's right. Start by giving all the input elements the class of inline. Alright, the code passes. So now we're creating that class right now. Select only the inline elements. And give them a width. Just gonna position the laptop differently. What this is gonna be on set. Never used that before. So apparently this will remove the earlier rule which set all the input elements to 100% of its parents. So whatever element that it's contained in, it was going to be 100% because it's a percentage and it's always relative to the parent element. But this is going to remove that rule. This is going to undo this. So I think that's it, actually. Yep. So F51. Add some space between the inline elements and label text. Between the inline elements and the label text by giving a right margin of 0.5 em. Is it right margin? Is that right? Or is it margin right? Just give me its Google line. Yep, margin right. And set all the other margins to 0. I think we can do this by just making the margin 0. If I'm correct. We're gonna see. Okay, so I think it needs you to type them all in. Top, left, right, bottom. Yeah. Alright, so the code passes. Trying to wonder if there's a way I can say all this in one line. There should be something for it. That was apparently the right code. If you look close enough, you'll notice the inline elements are too high on the line. To combat this, set the vertical line property to middle. Vertical align to middle. To make the input and text area elements blend in with the background theme, set their background color to this hexadecimal color right there. Alright, so to make the input and text area elements blend in, okay, so here was this class applied to the input elements, the text area, and the select. So this is just going to be the input and the text area. So input and text area. Oh, oops. So background color. And then the border is going to be 1 pixel. That's solid. And that's this color as well. I think it's the same, but I'm just going to copy it. Should give the input and text area elements a, I think it's just a space issue. I don't know. Oh, I think I know what it is. Oh, okay, so I think what it is I put commas instead of a space. So let's try that. I'm kind of used to using commas. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, don't use commas when they're not supposed to be used. Currently, if you type in the input or text area elements, you will not be able to see the text. So I think they mean is it's just the text color blends in with the background of the element, so it's like writing with a black marker on a black piece of paper. You can't see it. So currently, if you type in the input and text area elements, you'll be able to see to fix this by setting the color. So yeah, when it just says color like that, it always means the text color. That's kind of just a convention to know. And we're setting it to this color. Actually, I can probably memorize it. So it's FF, FF, FF. So now the text color is going to be white. And is it min height? 2em, and that should be good. Alright. We have about 8 left, and then we're done with this module. You want the select element to remain with a white background. So the select element is the one with the options. But now it is not getting the same minimum height as the input text area elements. Yeah, because we had a selector. We had one class where we're talking about the input and the text area and the select, and then we have another one that we've been working on, but it just applies to the input and text area. So now we're going to try to figure out how we can apply that same thing to just the select. So move the min height property in value so that all 3 element types have the same minimum height value, and the select element still has a white background. So yeah, I think it's as simple as just making that the one that applies to all of them. So right here, we're just gonna put that there. Because input and text area already have this property, but we're also applying it to this. Hold on. Maybe I misunderstood. Oh, okay. Hold on. I think I know what it's asking me to do. So it doesn't want this even around anymore, so it just wants it to apply to this one. That should be great. Yeah. To style the submit button, you can use the attribute selector, which selects an element based on the given attribute value. Here's an example. style submit button, you can use an attribute selector, which selects an element based on the given attribute. Here's an example. Yeah, I don't know. That looks kind of funny. The above selects input elements with the name attribute value of password. Now use... Oh yes, okay, so this is like using, this is kind of like using a selector. Where it would be dot and input element, and then it would have that attribute. It's a way you can do that in one line. Okay, I think I see what they're saying. So now use the attribute selector to style the submit button with a display of block. Okay, hold on. So submit. So display is going to be block. And width is going to be 60. I think that's how you do it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm new to the syntax too. Oh, okay, okay. I think I did misunderstand. Um, yeah, I did misunderstand. Um, so it actually would look, I think something like this. So now display block width of 60%. I think that is what it wanted us to do. All right, so so it kind of uses an attribute as a reference point. So for this, now you can say that, let's say there's any element. Let's say there's any element, and it just happens to have, let's say, the width of 60 right here. Then it would look something like, it should look something like form or is it say equal? Hold on. I want to make sure. Oh, it actually was equal. So that's kind of how the syntax works. Step 57. With a display of block, the submit button sits flush to the left on the edge of the parent. So that's the submit button. So it's to the left of this field set, this pattern reader. Use the same technique to center the form. To center the submit button. Okay. I think it should look something like wait, I'm actually not sure. Hold on. Is it input type form? Yeah, I'm actually not 100% sure. Let's see what it says. Okay, so it would do it through a margin of 0. Oh wait, maybe it's not asking me to do this at all. Hold on. Oh, okay. I misunderstood. To make the submit button look more in line with the rest of the form, give it the same height as the other fields, 2n. So also increase the font size to 1.1 REN. Alright. To make the submit button appear more distinct, give it a background color of so it says 3B, 4F, and border color of white. Alright, so now we're at 60, and now we just have 3 more. Lastly, it's the submit button. You want to separate it from the field set above and adjust its width to never below 300. So never below, think in terms of minimum or maximum. So never below, that would probably be the maximum. So that would be the width max. Is it width max? Or is it max width? I think it's with max. So 300 px. Change. Oh, I think it's max width. Yeah. All right. Max width. Change the margin property to include 1en. On the top and bottom. So I think I'll just get rid of this and just create new margin properties. So that would be 1en. Left and right, so that's going to be auto. I'm not sure if I want me to do the shorthand, but I'm just doing the long form. Okay, should not change the width property. Use the min width property. Oh, actually, hold on. Never below 300. So that's a minimum, not maximum. I got that mixed up. So this would be minimum width. All right, so that passed. So 61, most browsers inject their own default CSS properties and values for different elements. If you look closely, you might be able to notice that the file input is smaller, so kind of see it. So saying this is a little smaller than it was, than the other text. So this is smaller than this. By default, the padding of 1px, 2px, 1 pixel, 2 pixels is given to input elements you can type in. Using another attribute selector, style the input with the type of file to be the same padding as the other input elements. Okay, so how do we do this again? Just gonna go back to the code. So yeah, so input file So I think that's it. Yep. So now after this is going to be the last one, and then that's going to be review. Step 62. Speaking of padding, submit button is sitting at the bottom. So the submit button sitting at the bottom of the form element. Add 2em of padding only to the bottom of the form. So basically it'll make it so it's not fully at the bottom. Speaking of padding, the scope button is sitting at the bottom of the element. I think it's padding bottom. 2 EM. Alright, so this is the last one. Last but not least, change the text color of the terms and conditions to whatever this color is. And that's why it's saying well done, you've completed the final part of the registration form practice project. So this is the last module until the first project. I guess would I do that through, I mean, I could do it this way. Apply it to anchor elements, and just make that the color. I could do it this way. I'm not sure if that's what it's asking me to do, but alright, so it looked like it did change it, but I'm not 100% sure if that's what it wanted us to do. Alright, so that's it. That is it. That is it. Now we are done. Now we're gonna get to this project. So, I don't know. So I'm probably gonna be going a lot of back and forth between the other modules, but so we were working on this, and now we're 100% done. I think if I close it, it would say 100%. Actually, it doesn't, I guess, but yeah, so then this is going to be the next one. Then it gets into a lot more advanced CSS. It's going to basically be review of all of the web development that's been done so far, and then we're going to try to get into programming again, Java programming, and then an introduction to Android development, and then after that we're going to go back to web development again and finish this and then get to JavaScript. But yeah, I have a whole plan. But that's it. That is it.